Good morning, welcome to Exploring the Ka, and that is Ledgeworth Village. And I will definitely talk way more about Ledgeworth Village another time. And if you're new to me and who I am, this is Exploring the Ka with host Ra Castaldo, and of course, obviously, I am Ra Castaldo. My website is themysticalspiral.com. And I have a show every Friday night on the Para X. That's PARAX Radio Network.com. That's where the chat room is every Friday night. And that's where you can find my show and my guests. If you're into anything mysterious under the sun, then most likely you will enjoy my show. It's not for everybody, but it's for the hardcore underground of alternative radio, metaphysics, occult knowledge, interdimensional, extraterrestrial beings, cryptozoology, you name it, we cover it. And I might be doing a longer radio show privately where I do paranormal news and all that stuff. But right now my show is only an hour long, and 98% of the time I have a guest. Sometimes I do the show solo. This week will be another Fallen Angel Friday. Usually I do Fallen Angel Friday once a month, and it's usually the last Friday of every month. Sometimes I do more than one in a month, and sometimes I do it on a different day, depending on the availability of my guests. And this week, I think it's June 30th, Friday, and my guest is a Spiral Radio regular, and one of the most popular guests I have is Gary Wayne. And Gary Wayne is the author of Genesis 6 Conspiracy. He's an encyclopedia of amazing knowledge. I mean, even though he comes from a Christian background, this guy knows everything about the occult. He knows everything about all religions and all mysterious, hidden knowledge, And every time me and Gary talk, or Gary and I talk, we really have a good time. And you can see we both have a love and deep interest and fascination with all of this hidden knowledge that's been, suppressed and kept from us for a variety of reasons. One of them being to halt our spiritual ascension, or a spiritual evolution of humanity, basically. This is going to be another talk about dream prophecies and dream visions. I have a dream prophecy playlist that you can find. I have a few playlists, a few series now, and they're all linking to each other. And I'm going to also do some martial arts videos of me destroying a heavy bag with some leg kicks or something like that. I'm going to leave it. I'm a little sore right now, so I didn't do it. But I have old wrestling videos of me and stuff too I might put up there. And I'm planning on doing a lot with this YouTube channel. And I have, like I said, I have my website, but I'm also making a subscriber section to my website, which will be available within a month from now. I was starting it, but I gotta fix it. I need a little help with my webmaster, and she's been a little busy lately, so once she gets some time and I get some time to sit down and actually make it cool and easy to sign up, and it's only gonna be like $5 a month. And I already give like free podcasts and free media and free things, but I have some services on my website. Oracle readings, psychic readings, dream interpretation, dream healing, because we are the Benedante. And I don't make spells, I break them. I help people break whatever vice or covert technology is clinging to their souls. And this subscriber website, you know how on YouTube I usually give like my videos like 20 minutes or less, it's like a 20-minute or less video? Well, on the subscriber website, they will be more in-depth videos, and probably an hour or more long. Also, I have the Naga files on my website, and I have a lot of information about who they are and their characteristics, their symbols, their abilities. But I have over 100 files of records of actual Naga, what they look like, how they are invoked, where they came from, who worships them, you know, all this stuff. And I have over 105 files, about 108 files altogether of the Naga files. So I will be giving in my subscriber website all of these files and all of my information and knowledge that I accumulated, that I've been researching this on and off diligently for the last 11 years. More recently, over the last 2 years, I've really had a breakthrough with my research and my astral travels, if you want to put it that way. I'm able to tap in to this holographic world or universe that we have right outside of our physical plane. Everyone can have access to this. There's access through this, through plants and nature and various other ways. I mean, you can literally be sitting on your couch and travel light years. So people need to realize that dream time is your reality, and the awake time, this physical plane time, is an illusion. Is some kind of simulation to experience these 5 senses. And then when you die, that silver cord is cut, and you are no longer in this physical realm, and you no longer have the 5 senses. You know, you no longer feel joy and pain and everything that comes along with it on the physical plane level. So my last dream vision, which is kind of foggy, I don't have full recall of it, but it was not last night but the night before. And somehow, always in my travels and dream time, I'm always defending a house. Sometimes the house is full with people. Sometimes we're in a classroom in the house. And the weird part about it is that my physical life is always merged. The consciousness of my physical life is always merged with my dream time reality. Let me give you an example. That I'll be in the dream vision, right? And I'll be concerned about things on the physical plane. Like this last dream, I was worried about getting arrested when I woke up. I was worried about police and getting in trouble some reason. I was worrying about not being up in time for work. I was stressing in the dream, like, oh my God, when I wake up I might get in trouble. The cops might be waiting for me. I might miss work. So I'm conscious while I'm dreaming and sleeping. Like, I'm shut off. I'm like asleep for the night. But meanwhile, during the scene of my dream time, I'm actually concerned about what's going on in my physical life as well. I'm worried about time. I'm worried about rules. You see, we are controlled in this physical plane. Everything is about control. You know, everything that has energy is on some kind of control or time clock or something. You know, when a time was invented for this physical plane, it was a trap. You know, this physical world is a trap. And we're always running out of time. We always have time. We always have to be on someone else's schedule. And time is at an accelerated rate. I don't know if you guys realize the minutes, the seconds, and the hours, although they seem like the same, they are being sped up. We are being ushered further towards this spiritual ascension, and some will get left in the dust. If you haven't been working on your spiritual self, you know, from 1987 to now, then you might be in trouble, especially if you haven't become aware of your spiritual side since 2012. I mean, 2012 was pretty much the deadline, I feel, to start tapping into your spiritual path. And for those who are not spiritual or don't consider themselves spiritual or don't explore their consciousness, then I really feel sorry for the trouble that lies ahead. Or maybe you just don't even realize it, and in a way, you're too, not stupid, but you're too out of it to even realize you're in danger. And for those that aren't going to spiritually evolve into their spiritual blueprint that's like laid out for you at birth, I feel that when we are born, there is some kind of spiritual holographic blueprint, a map for your spiritual ascension in this lifetime. And, you know, this is a kind of a free will zone still, like in meaning that certain life events can come in the way of your spiritual ascension. You know, you can get hit by a bus, you could, you know, certain things can happen that aren't on your spiritual path, that are just life occurrences that can happen. You know, not everything is planned out. Some are random occurrences. You know, so when people say that every single minute of your life is mapped out, even taking a dump was mapped out, I don't believe that. But I believe that you do have some kind of spiritual holographic blueprint to your spiritual ascension during every incarnation. And when you apply for time to experience the physical plane, and your soul is carried by the seraphim and other, if you want to call them Draco, Anunnaki, fallen angels, whatever you want to call them, these beings, I feel, bring your soul into the womb, carry it into the womb, and when that spark is set, and that spark happens, when the sperm goes in and that spark is created, then the soul is brought. And I truly feel at that moment your soul contract has already been agreed upon, and then you're given this like amnesia type clean slate where you don't remember your agreement, and you don't remember that you chose to be in this incarnation, and you chose this genetic line. It probably could be eons ago. You know, time does not exist the way it exists on this physical plane, in other realms, in other dimensions, and other timelines. So, when I was in this house in my dream 2 nights ago, like I said, I'm always like defending the house. It's like always like apocalyptic type scenery in the environment. Like around the house are all rundown buildings. I have all the windows boarded up, almost like something you would see out of Walking Dead. And I don't watch Walking Dead, by the way, but you know, I'm well aware of what it is. I've seen maybe 3 episodes, 4 episodes in their completion. Like I said, I don't even have cable. I got Netflix, but I just mostly, after work, I'll go on the computer for a little bit or something, but I stay away from TV. I do watch occasional movies. I do love 90s anime, some 90s anime, supernatural anime, like Ninja Scroll and, you know, Wicked City and, you know, Akira, things like that I really enjoy. There's also one called The Pet Shop of Horrors, which is a really interesting, cool one. And so, like I said, I'm always defending this house. And in this... Wow, some dude just hit a coyote. And he's on the side of the road trying to drag the coyote out of the road. I just saw it on the opposite side. You see this drink right here? I bought it because it was from the health food store, in the health food section. And I bought a whole shitload of them until I got home, and then I read. I mean, I'm still drinking them, but in this right here, it says there's 6 servings and 20 grams of sugar in each serving. So it's not healthy. It's bombarded with sugar. So this dream vision was pretty crazy and pretty, it would make an amazing movie. I mean, it was so vivid. I remember being really scared in it too, like, not scared, but like I was fighting for my life, and that I was gonna get in trouble for some reason. I had to kill a couple of ravens, and I had to put down some of these beings, like in the dream, in the vision. And so I was defending this house, like, always. And I don't remember specific people that were with me, but I had a group of people with me in the house. And outside of the house, this is the only time that I remember that I've dreamt this. Outside of the house was a graveyard in the mud. Like, we had mud all around the house outside. Mounds of mud. Really, like, you could pick up mud, ball with your hand mud, like real thick mud. And it was a graveyard, but there were not gravestones anywhere, like markers. But there were stone circles around the perimeter. It was this big stone circle, maybe to keep the energy in. I'm feeling, and even when I mentioned it to my buddy Masaki about my dream, that this is some giants stuff. This has to do with giants. And these stones, the stone circle, looked very similar to Göbekli Tepe. Very T-shaped, rounded at the bottom, and inside of the T's were all these figure eights wrapped around each other, like almost like what I do when I was younger. I used to be like ghostwriting and not know what it was, and like things would emerge from me going like this with my pen. Like, I would be doing a figure eight over and over, and then faces would start to emerge and stuff. And I was doing this as a kid and not even realizing what I was doing. And if you look down below in my videos, you will find one of the videos I did on ghostwriting, electric inertia, and you know, things that happened when I was younger. Because I had a few occurrences in my life where I was talking to someone while doodling on a pad, and the next thing I know, I had a face, and it was like somebody that passed away in their life. And I freaked out some lady that lived next door to me in California, and she like never talked to me again because she thought I was some witch with evil powers, and really made me feel bad about myself. So I do know what it's like to feel persecuted for having psychic abilities. So within this stone circle outside of this house, there was bodies buried in the mud. And when you pulled away the mud, the bodies were in some kind of plastic or some kind of unzipping something unzipped, because the group of people that I were in were running out of the house and like moving the mud away from all these beings. They knew exactly where to go. They were unzipping them, and they were taking the mud and throwing it on these. See, they weren't really giants that I remember when they stood up. I don't remember how big they were. Once the mud, people were, it's very hazy, but I remember them getting the mud, globbing it in their hands, and throwing it on these beings while they were in the ground. Like, they would dig them up and they were laying there, unzipped them, and they were throwing this mud on them. And birds, like ravens and crows, were coming from the sky, and they were coming down, and they were like trying to like get at the people. So I started to first defend this group of people by knocking away the birds and killing the birds. And then I realized, I just knew, because I actually didn't see the beings. I knew that they were being reanimated through this mud. Like, the mud was being thrown on them, and they were being reanimated, because the next thing I knew, I was inside the house trying to reinforce the walls and the doors, because people were breaking in. Like, people were coming to get me, and I could see the shine of their red eyes outside of the holes in the doors. You know, like they were trying to come and kill me. And I don't remember too much from the dream, but I remember my German Shepherd that passed away when I was younger. She died when she was like 9 or 10. Her name was Lady, and I had two of them, Lady and Zoe. And Zoe was just all black, German Shepherd, and Lady was the black and tan, like the traditional. And they were both so smart, and I feel they are some of my animal spirit guides still, because they're always in my dreams, and I'm always hugging them in my dreams. And when I wake up, I feel like they're still alive, because I'm like, oh my god, I want to see Lady, and I wake up and I realize that she's not alive. Like, so these dreams are so vivid, they feel like reality. They are reality. And, you know, I'm so conscious of what's going on in them that I remember my responsibilities in the physical plane. And I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned about waking up in time to go to work. So, you know, these dream visions are more than just visions. They are prophetic. I feel they're prophecies about my life, about all our individual lives. You know, they're symbols for something, and they're symbols for what's going to be reflected from these. You see, what's happening in our dream time reflects in our awake time. So certain things that we do in our dream, there will be an outcome on the physical plane from that result. You know, the results, and just like in our physical lives, what happens in our physical lives will reflect on what we do and what happens to us in our astral travels, you know? And maybe, you know, having no confidence and extreme amounts of fear in the physical plane will lead to fears and concerns on the astral plane. And, you know, if you're into my Dream Prophecy series and you've heard other ones of my stories, then you've heard me talking about giants awakening from a stasis. I feel this dream is along those lines, but I don't know how how they were being reanimated from mud. I mean, it was a horrifying experience in my dream, especially that I was so concerned about getting in trouble. I was concerned about, how because I feel that I killed some birds, and I killed a couple of these beings that were coming in. That's just the feeling that I had in the dream. Maybe I had even hurt some of the people that was in the group for reanimating these. It just feels like I did something wrong in the dream time, that I was so concerned about getting in trouble when I woke up. And I was like relieved when I woke up and realized like the cops weren't waiting for me outside. Like, that's how serious it was in the dream. Like, it was really intense. I mean, the next day after that, I did have my car break down on the road, and there were cops everywhere because there's like 2 fugitives loose in my area right now. That young kids too. There is a young guy like 22 years old, and a girl who's like 22 years old. They broke out of a prison. I guess the girl was in the girl's wing, and the guy was in the guy's wing of the prison, and somehow they broke out together, and they ended up in Pine Bush, New York, right near where I live. And so there was like roadblocks everywhere. They were pulling people over. Cops were everywhere. My car broke down. Maybe I caught, a little bit of that energy that was around my community at the time, because, we are the Benindante. My lineage are the Benindante. And we fight in the dream time to cleanse the collective consciousness of our communities and of our families and of our friends and of our loved ones. We fight to protect the abundance of Gaia, and to protect the crops and the vineyards and everything that produces energy for our consumption. We protect that. And when we lose these battles, that's when we see drought. That's when we see fires and famine and more vaccines for children and things like that. We have been losing these battles on a mass scale for a long time. We are losing the war, ladies and gentlemen, for our spiritual evolution, for our souls. We are the Benindante, and we fight for the spiritual evolution of humanity. Spiral out.